Hello and many thanks for joining us. You're watching Addis News Hour with the news. I'm Tabitha John. Do stay with us. The Ethiopian Ministry of Water, Irrigation and Energy confirms that the country will execute the second filling of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam as per schedule. The minister, Engineer Seleshi Bekele, on the symposium organized to mark the 10th year anniversary of the commencement of the dam said the filling of the dam will by no means be postponed. Meanwhile, Deputy Prime Minister Demek Amakonnen on the occasion asserted that finalizing the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is a matter of sovereignty. Emmanuel Durge tells us more.
It has been almost 10 years since Ethiopia embarked on the construction of the much disputed Africa's largest hydropower dam. As the dam reaches 79% of its construction stage, Egypt and Sudan are still raising concerns regarding its construction. Believing in what it is doing, Ethiopia continues to execute the construction of the dam despite external outcries. In a symposium organized to mark the 10th year anniversary of the commencement of the dam, Minister of Water, Irrigation and Energy Seleshi Bekele confirmed that the country will carry out the second filling of the dam as per its own schedule.
The construction of the dam is under a very careful execution and follow-up. The construction stage by its nature demands the second filling of the dam by the coming rainy season. So there is no way that we will postpone the filling. It is technically impossible.
Speaking on the occasion, Deputy Prime Minister Demek Amakonnen for his part asserted that completing the dam is a matter of protecting the country's sovereignty.
Utilizing the Abai River and completing the construction of the dam should be considered as a matter of protecting the country's sovereignty. Ethiopia contributes 86% or 77 billion cubic meters of the Nile water, so no earthly power will deny its right to properly utilize its own river water.
It is stated on the occasion that 79% of the overall construction of the $4.6 billion mega dam has been completed so far. The symposium's objective was to explore the current status of the dam and the ongoing trilateral negotiations between Ethiopia, Egypt and Sudan.
The Ethiopian Ministry of Foreign Affairs said it has employed personnel to investigate the deaths of Ethiopian migrants in one of the detention centers in Yemen's capital, Sana'a. Kasahun Jani reports.
In an exclusive interview with BBC English, Ethiopia's Foreign Affairs spokesperson and Public Diplomacy Director General Ambassador Dina Mufti confirmed that over 40 Ethiopian migrants who were stranded in Yemen's prison have lost their lives when fire broke out in one of the detention centers in the capital, Sana'a. The ambassador said it was very difficult to pull out the dead bodies of Ethiopian citizens from the blaze.
There was an explosion. There was in the prison in Yemen, where Ethiopian nationals had been affected. There were deaths and serious injuries as well. I think with the cooperation of the Ethiopian communities there and fellow donors, it was very difficult to pull out the dead bodies out of Sana'a. And yesterday, I think those who passed away have been buried. Otherwise, from Aden, the coming Tuesday, Ethiopia is planning to evacuate 175 of them. And definitely with this serious process of evacuations, definitely Ethiopians will get a relief.
The government has deployed staff members of the Ethiopian embassy in Oman, as there was no Ethiopian embassy in Yemen, and is closely working to conduct an investigation into the tragic accident.
Otherwise, from day one, after this incident, the Ethiopian embassy in Oman, as you know, we don't have an embassy in Sana'a. Our embassy in Oman, in Muscat, is the one which is taking care of the situation in Sana'a. Our embassy, under the leadership of the ministry, had been following up the situation there. That situation, that follow-up has continued to date. And all stranded Ethiopians, all affected Ethiopians definitely will get a relief very soon. Otherwise, the ones who passed away had been buried yesterday. with the cooperation of the donor agencies and the Ethiopian residing in that part of the country.
The ambassador further warned that Ethiopians should not take audacious decisions to go to Yemen where conflict is rife. It was a pity to have seen Ethiopians taking risks there while the government is trying to repatriate citizens who are languishing with agony in the jaws of foreign countries. Ethiopia's Foreign Affairs spokesperson and Public Diplomacy Director General expressed sorrow and deep regret Wednesday over the deaths.
In a leaked document published by Ethiopian Digest, the leader of the Tigray People's Liberation Front, Debretsion Gebremichael, has hinted that his side was offered a potential opportunity to address the African Union Peace and Security Council on the current situations in Ethiopia. The statement, dated 12th March 2021, was paid as a rebuttal to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's address to the same council on the 9th March 2021. In it, Debretsion says, quote, "We thank you for the opportunity to respond to the address made to your assembly on Tuesday, March 9th, 2021, regarding the current situation in Tigray. This comes as more and more evidence accrues of the TPLF's use of former government employees and Western experts in a sophisticated digital campaign aimed at ensuring it evades accountability for its crimes and facilitates a return to mainstream politics in Ethiopia." It appears the statement was co-drafted by Dr. Fiona Mehan, a former employee of the Relief Society of Tigray, and Ms. Gail Warden, formerly an employee of the Ethiopian Embassy in London. The document was then sent for comments to Birhane Ghebrekristos, former State Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia, who is now leading TPLF's operations abroad from the United States. The reveals further evidence of the TPLF operations abroad, where a machinery of foreign experts and loyalists toil on behalf of the group, responsible for well-documented human rights abuses against the Ethiopian people. Going further, it appears these foreign TPLF members, sitting comfortably in London and Dublin, are leading TPLF's external lobbying strategy, thereby ensuring the continuation of the conflict on the ground. The leaked document is further proof that these women and a cohort of other Western experts based abroad are not only on the front line of the TPLF's digital campaign, but also the brains behind the movement. The likes of Debretsion Gebremichael and Birhane Ghebrekristos simply place hoarders with empty titles, legitimizing the work of external actors with no stake in Ethiopia's future or accountability to those affected. These leaks, in a time of Black Lives Matter, reveal the story of white saviors feasting on strategy in a distant land as pastime in their taxpayer-funded retirements. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, UNOCHA, says the delivery of humanitarian assistance has been stepped up in the Tigray region, with humanitarian partners reaching 900,000 people with full food baskets, almost 700,000 with water, and 136,000 with shelter. On Friday, the UN announced that humanitarian partners have started using a new email notification system to deploy international staff to Tigray, a change from the system they had when they had to seek permission. Quote, "However, much more remains to be done. Humanitarians urgently needed an estimated of $400 million in additional funding to meet needs in Tigray, the full scope of which is still not yet clear," the statement indicates. Meanwhile, the World Food Programme, WFP, has kicked off its food relief response to reach 770,000 affected people in Tigray. Following Ethiopia's announcement for unfettered access to Tigray, there are now close to 30 international organizations operating in the region, as 70% of the need is met only by the Ethiopian government. The Oromo Liberation Front OLF disclosed that it will field candidates to take part in the general parliamentary and regional election slated for early June this year. The party statement comes after the deadline for registration of candidates announced by the National Electoral Board has already expired. The statement was issued following a general assembly held by a splinter group of the OLF led by Ararso Bikila and Kajala Merdasa. The OLF said it will field candidates in the state of Oromia, provided that the board allows it to do so. The board has not commented on the issue as of this moment. Meanwhile, the General Assembly has elected a new chairperson, replacing Daud Ibsa, who leads the other faction. The Daud-led faction and the Oromo Federalist Congress OFC have put forward preconditions to take part in the election, all of which the board said were beyond its mandate.